Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on a type of puzzle that might seem simple, but is actually a huge key to thinking sharper, the word analogy. You know, mastering these isn't just about passing a test. It's about learning to see the hidden logic that connects ideas. And once you start seeing it, you really do start seeing it everywhere.
All right, let's just jump right in. Bank is to river as coast is to what? Take a look. Is it flood, waves, sea, or beach? Got an idea? Okay, hang on to that thought. We are going to circle back and solve this one, because understanding the logic here is the key to solving pretty much every analogy.
So, how do you solve puzzles like that one with, 100% confidence every single time? Well, it all starts by understanding their DNA. We have to go beyond just guessing and actually crack the code by breaking down the fundamental way they're built. At its heart, a verbal analogy is really just a statement about a relationship. It's saying that the logical link between the first two words is exactly the same as the link between the second two. It always follows this format. A is to B as C is to D. The entire puzzle, the whole shebang, is hiding in that little phrase, is to. So, we've just started cracking the code. To make this super easy to remember, we've grouped the 15 most common analogy types into 3 simple themes: the tangible world, the world of measurement, and the world of ideas. Then we'll wrap it all up with the single most important takeaway. By the time we're done, you're going to be a pattern spotting master. Okay, let's start with stuff we can actually see and touch. This first big group is all about relationships and the world around us. Physical objects, living things, and what they do. First up, part and whole. The relationship here is simple. One word is just a piece of the other, like a nib is part of a pen. So let's try this. If a student is part of a class, then a room is part of a house. The answer is A. Perfect. Now this next one kind of flips the script. A pen has a nib, so what part does a book have? Think about it. That's going to be C, a chapter. See how the order matters? All right, next up, individual and group. This one links a single thing to what we call the whole group. Like one sheep is in a flock. So what do you call a group of flowers? That would be a bouquet. Answer C. Makes sense. And a single singer is a member of a chorus. So a player is a member of a team. Answer A. You're getting the hang of this. Now for a fun one. Animal and its young one. So a cow has a calf. What's the baby version of a frog? Give it a second. Yep, it's a tadpole. Answer B. And the young of a lion is a cub, so the young of a sheep is a lamb. Answer A. Let's stick with animals and talk about how they move. A horse is famous for its gallop. So what's that classic movement for a duck? You can probably picture it. It's a waddle. Answer C. Okay, how about this one? A lion is to prowl, as a horse is to gallop. That's answer C. It's the action that defines them. Let's shift gears to tool and action. A pen is used to write. The relationship here is all about function. So what action does a gun perform? Shoot. That's answer C. And a shovel? Well, a shovel is used to scoop. Answer A. The tool is basically defined by what it does. And to finish up our tangible world section, we have object and location. It's just about where things belong. So a fish might live in an aquarium. Where would you expect to find a whole bunch of birds? That's right, in an aviary. Answer B. And where do we store planes? In a hangar. Answer D. Great job. Let's move on to our second big category, the world of measurement. Now, these analogies get a little more scientific. They're all about how we measure and quantify the world around us. First up in this section is instrument and measurement. We all know a thermometer measures temperature. So what does a hygrometer measure? That's going to be C, humidity. Okay, now let's work backward. If a barometer measures pressure, what does an anemometer measure? That tool measures B, wind. So right after instruments, we have quantity and unit. What is length measured in? Meters. Okay, so what is the unit for energy? It's the joule. Answer C. Now this next one's a little tricky. The relationship is about order or rank. An hour is a higher order of time than a second. So following that logic, tertiary means third, so its counterpart would be
primary, which means first. The answer is B.
We've done the physical world. We've done the world of measurement. Now, let's get into our final and most abstract category, the world of ideas. These are all about the relationships between the concepts themselves.
First in this group is study and topic. Botany is the study of plants. Pretty simple. So what does ornithology study? The answer is B, birds. Now for the next one. Anatomy is one specific branch within the larger field of zoology. In the same way, pediatrics is a specific branch of C, medicine. Let's talk cause and effect. For example, fire causes smoke. So what is the effect of practicing? You improve. What about the effect of studying? The effect is that you learn. So that's A. Now check this out. The next one is reversed. It goes from the effect back to the cause. Smoke is the effect of fire. So tears are the effect of grief. Answer C. You always have to check the direction of that relationship.
Here's a real classic word and synonym. These are just words that mean the same thing. To abandon someone is to leave them. So a synonym for audacity would be impudence. That's answer B. And if you mend something, you repair it. Answer A. Simple as that.
And of course, right after synonyms, we have to talk about their opposites, antonyms, words with completely contrary meanings. To attack is the opposite of to defend. So the opposite of advance is retreat, and the opposite of kind is cruel. Answer C. In the same way, the opposite of an ancestor is a descendant. So the opposite of beautiful is ugly. Answer A.
This next type is really interesting. It's about intensity. Think of it like a volume knob. One word is just a more powerful, cranked up version of the other. So anger, when you turn it all the way up, becomes rage. Following that logic, a plant develops into a tree. A girl develops into a woman. Answer C. And a simple wish, when it gets really intense, becomes a strong desire. Answer C.
Here's a very direct one, male and female. You know, like man and woman. The female counterpart to a bull is a cow, so the female for a lion is a lioness. Answer C. And if a cock is the male and a hen is the female, what's the female for a gander? That's a goose. Answer A.
And our final type, the pair relationship. These are the classic duos, things that just naturally go together, like a lock and a key. Let's finish strong here. Salt is pretty much always paired with pepper, so a cup is traditionally paired with a saucer. Answer C. A horse pulls a carriage, so what's the functional partner for an ox pulling a heavy load? It's a cart. Answer B. So, after all of that, what is the big secret? It's this. It's so simple. Stop staring at the individual words and getting hung up on vocabulary. Start looking for the relationship. Is it a part to a whole? Is it a cause and its effect? Is it an antonym? Once you can name that relationship, you've found the key. You've solved the puzzle. And that simple idea, well, that brings us right to the core takeaway from this entire explainer. Look, this is so much more than just a trick for taking tests. Learning to spot these hidden relationships is an incredibly powerful critical thinking skill. It helps you see patterns and connections absolutely everywhere, in arguments you hear, in designs you see, in complex systems. So the real question isn't just about passing an exam. It's about training your brain to constantly ask, what's the connection here? So what relationship will you look for next? Here is the big mental shift you have to make. Your job isn't just to be a test taker. You're more like a detective. See, solving these isn't just about having a big vocabulary. It's about finding the hidden rule that connects that first pair of words. Once you nail that relationship, you can use it to find the missing piece of the puzzle. Okay, so how do we actually spot that hidden rule? Well, the good news is most analogies lean on just a handful of common logical patterns. Think of these like the essential tools for your detective kit. Let's go ahead and add the first three to your toolkit right now. First up, and this is a really common one, is the part and whole relationship. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. One word is just a piece, and the other is the bigger thing it belongs to. Look how a simple sentence just cracks this wide open. For nib, pen, all you have to do is say the relationship out loud. A nib is a part of a pen. Now just apply that exact same sentence to the others. A chapter is a part of a book. A wheel is a part of a car. It's a simple, repeatable trick that just makes the logic pop.
All right, next up in our toolkit is the cause and effect relationship. This one isn't about physical pieces, it's all about an action and its direct result.
So here, one thing leads directly to another, like a chain reaction. Fire causes smoke, right? Constant practice causes improvement. And a disease can cause a fever. Spotting that clear, logical link between an action and its consequence is the whole key to this type.
And the last tool for our starter kit today is one you're definitely familiar with, the word and antonym relationship. This one is all about a simple relationship of opposites. This just shows you the simple power of opposites. To attack is the opposite of to defend. To sink is the opposite of to float. Abundant, which means you have a lot of something, is the opposite of scarce. So when you see two words that are in direct conflict, you can be pretty sure you're looking at an antonym relationship.
All right, you've got the toolkit. Now it's time to put it to work. Let's do a little brain workout and see if you can spot the hidden relationships in a couple of new problems. Ready? Here's our first one. Cattle is to fodder as fish is to what? Think about that first pair. What's the exact relationship between cattle and fodder? Okay, your options are feed, hay, insects, or plankton.
And the correct answer is D, plankton. Now here's why being precise is so important. It's not quite enough to say fodder is food for cattle. You have to be more specific. Fodder is a specific kind of dried food for cattle. So we need a specific kind of food for fish. Feed is way too general. Plankton, on the other hand, is specific. That's the level of logic that gets you to the right answer. Excellent. Let's try another one. Advance is to retreat, as kind is to... Your options are harsh, bold, cruel, or weak. Which one of those tools from your new toolkit applies here? And the answer is C, cruel. If you spotted that, you perfectly applied the antonym tool. To advance is the direct opposite of to retreat. So we need the direct opposite of kind. And while harsh is close, the most precise antonym is cruel. See? You're getting the hang of this. But what happens when you're under pressure, like, during a test? Having a clear, repeatable strategy is your absolute best friend. So let's walk through a 4-step plan for success. This is your game plan every single time. First, and this is the most critical part, turn that first pair into a complete sentence. Just like we did, a nib is a part of a pen. Second, use that sentence as a filter to immediately cross out any choices that obviously don't fit. Third, be super precise. This is where people get tripped up. The relationship a wheel is part of a car is not the same as a wheel is used for a car. That tiny distinction is everything. And finally, watch out for the traps. Test makers love to throw in words that feel related, but don't match the exact logical rule you already found. Okay, we have our strategy. So let's apply it one last time to that very first problem from the beginning of our explainer. Remember, bank is to river as coast is to what? Step 1, make a sentence. A bank is the land that borders a river. Step 2, eliminate. Well, waves and flood aren't land borders, so they're out. Step 3, be precise. A beach is a part of a coast, but the coast itself is the land that borders the sea. So the answer is C. See how that works? And this skill goes so much further than just tests. Let's zoom out and see how this sharpens your mind every single day. So, why do we care so much about these little word puzzles? Because this skill is a gateway to so much more. You're not just memorizing words, you're learning the relationships between them, which is really the bedrock of critical thinking. And yeah, of course it helps on tests like the SAT or GRE. But way more importantly, you're training your brain to do something incredibly powerful, to find hidden patterns and connections in a really complex world. And that's a superpower that helps you long after any test is over. And that really brings us to our final thought. An analogy isn't just a simple comparison. It's a doorway to thinking deeply. It's a framework for seeing the hidden architecture that connects ideas that might seem totally unrelated. So the next time you see two different things, ask yourself, what's the hidden analogy here? What's the secret logic that ties them together? Thanks for joining us on